Okay, welcome to Brain Wednesday edition.
Yeah, we do need a better name for this this version of the show. Just tell us in the comments. But I was thinking like brain dump.
Brain dump.
We had brain teasers for a little bit. Brain freeze.
Because we're kind of like honing in on one type or two things.
Ooh,
brain freeze. It's like
that's
we're
good. I like brain freeze.
You know, brain freeze is cool.
But brain freeze is not an enjoyable experience for anybody.
Oh, what? I love it.
We're gonna go get some slushies later. We're gonna see who can drink theirs the fastest.
Yep.
So today we're gonna be talking a bit about Microsoft adjusting their AI adoption targets. That's not really the subject. The subject is more about organizational adoption of AI and why, in general, I think the rates are not what people had expected them to be. There's been a lot of talk because of Microsoft's announcement that they were adjusting their sales targets.
And we have interesting opinions because of different organizations that we're either helping or that we are part of that are adopting or not adopting AI in different directions. So
yes, and it's interesting to see the differences based on the size of the organization. Yeah, I was going to say big or small, but those are just sizes. So it feels a little redundant to name what sizes are.
If you can describe for us what size means.
Medium.
And I think, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the sentiment of adoption of AI in different creative industries and kind of the shifts that I'm seeing in a few of them. Music and gaming in particular. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, I've had some really interesting conversations, especially in the last week with creatives about the use of AI.
Yep.
And it feels so polarizing right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we'll dive into that.
All right. Thank you to Generosity X for making this second half of the season possible. Generosity X partners with charities to increase their annual giving revenue through optimization and innovation. Check out generosityx.com, and we're going to have them on later in the season for some discussions on how AI is affecting nonprofits and fundraising.
Who will be joining us?
Matt Hussey.
Matt Hussey.
Of the famous Hussey family.
Okay.
Actually, very, very well-known fundraising family in North America. His brother's got a major donor fundraising agency out in Ottawa.
Amazing.
And their dad's got a big plaque in the hospital in Ottawa for all the work he did.
Wow.
Anyways, this show's not about Matt. But hey, Matt. Thanks for watching, and we're looking forward to having you on.
Amazing.
Yeah, so there was a lot of talk the last week about Microsoft adjusting their AI goals, and that was kind of a bit of a big clickbait headline.
Right,
like
up or down.
Microsoft is lowering their expectations and cutting their goals. And it's kind of important to say Microsoft publicly denied that it's lowering growth targets and AI software sales broadly.
Right.
But the rumors internally are that they've lowered sales targets, not their overall ambitious goals for AI adoption and rollout, just their sales target for the year. And so that kind of really got the conversation going about AI adoption rates. And is it doing what we thought it would do?
Yeah. And they're a pretty good litmus test because, they're used everywhere in all kinds of businesses.
Everywhere. So Copilot was kind of the big thing that was pushed upon many just regular corporations, just people working, writing, doing things.
Yep.
It was pushed out to them. And there was very, very poor adoption, I think, for a number of reasons. First of all, Copilot's initial iterations were not very good.
Correct.
They were based on older versions of ChatGPT and a few other models kind of hidden in the background. So you'd make a prompt to Copilot and it would send it out to the right model depending on what your request was, and it returned something that was kind of not great.
Meh.
Meh, as we like to say here. I remember giving it I gave it a sample of 8,000 email results, gifts and whatever. And it crashed. It crashed. It gave me the dead Microsoft face with the X eyes. And prior to that, I had been processing hundreds of thousands of rows on my own internal server.
Right.
So I didn't have a really good initial experience with it to begin with. But I think that one of the biggest things that's holding adoption back is that people don't really have a destination when they roll it out. Organizations don't have a destination. They have a checkbox, which is, I rolled out AI. And so they've downloaded, they've enabled, they've hit the checkbox that says, yes, give my users access to Copilot. And the little icon has appeared in Outlook or Word or wherever. And that's been the end of it. And that's not adoption. It's not even really a rollout. It's the tool's there, but people don't really know how to use it or when to use it or why to use it. And so we've kind of been stuck just past the start line without even knowing where the finish line is. And so to do a little plug for our own process, that's why we built the AI Policy Builder, which is a great tool for just getting the conversation going with your senior leadership or with your board, to help you figure out what as an organization do we want to do with this? What are the constraints? What are the guardrails? What are we comfortable with? What are we okay with investing? How much time are we okay putting into this? What are we okay with in terms of ethics?
Yes.
So if you want a good starting point, we have a free AI policy builder on brainmediaconsulting.com that you can go and use. You'll get an email and a PDF and a guide, basically. Actually, you'll end up with a complete policy at the end that you can either use as is or adjust further.
Yep.
But that's a really good starting point if you're not sure where to go.
It's in the description of this video.
Yeah. And so that just kind of helps to set up the road. Like I've got this picture of a running a race, a thing, something that I've never done. Once you get past the start line, you need to know, like, don't go down this road, don't go down that road. Like, this is where the finish line is. Let's go. This is just the guardrails to help you get a little bit further down the road. After that, we have another tool actually, which is an AI readiness assessment tool. Which will tell you, based on your policy that you've put together with what you're comfortable with and what you're okay with exploring, here's where you are on the path of the race. Like here's where you're at, and here are some recommendations of what to do next. Both tools are free and available on brainmediaconsulting.com. And that'll help you to establish where to start and how to roll out. Another challenge I've seen is that a lot of the tools that are deployed to employees are not necessarily the right tool.
Right.
You have developers that maybe they need Claude. You have designers that maybe need to be using Figma Make or Vercel.
Yep.
And they're all being given Copilot.
Exactly.
Which Copilot has its spot too.
For sure.
Right? Like so in Excel, to be able to go equals Copilot. Write out your natural language analysis that you need done based on a table of data. That's got a place.
Yep. But like you're suggesting, and I think it's a really good point, it's that it has been so much work done in the AI agentic and just tooling space that there are specialized tools. I'm thinking about like data rails inside of Excel is like an amazing tool for being able to natural language prompt your Excel spreadsheets or your Google sheets. You know what I mean? Like you're suggesting, there are tools. You know, you wouldn't give a carpenter the plumber tools. You wouldn't give, you'd want to make sure that they have the appropriate tools for their work. So that's the case in AI as well.
Yeah, and what happens is that the people that are already the most competent or capable or even curious, if they're not given the right tools, they will go out and start using tools that you didn't intend for them to use.
That's exactly right.
And so anything that you tried to do around data security or safety or ethics or cost effectiveness, anything you've tried to do is now getting skirted by somebody who actually has good intentions.
Yes.
They want to use it more. They want to save time. They want to build things faster, bigger, better.
They may be inadvertently putting you at risk because you're unprepared to actually approach the whole topic. Yeah.
Which also goes back to kind of the star line of who is pulling the pistol on the race, like who is saying this is what we're doing and this is where it's going. That often falls back to I want to say more like technical roles, because they think that this is software, this runs on a computer. So our person who's been running our network security for the last 20 years, they're the right person to lead the charge.
Right.
And that's usually not the case.
That's right.
They might not have the interest in rolling out these tools.
Yeah, and very often, I would think more often than not, it's the founders and directors of an organization who hold the purpose and mission of that organization the most tightly. So it's really their responsibility to set the tone on how deployment of this massive shift, by the way, this is a massive shift in work in general. It's the responsibility of those leaders to properly define and address this for their workers. And so we're trying to build tools that will allow leaders, really the people who are holding the flag for the organizations, to make the proper decisions, to put down on paper the appropriate framework for their teams to be able to use these tools and use them well, to innovate, to do incredible things, but to do it within the constraints of your organization's purpose and mission.
Yeah, and that's another thing that we offer, and I don't want it to be like a total
it's not like an infomercial
pitch, but like we are working with different organizations to help them figure out where the starting line is, where the finish line is, where are the guardrails, and who are the right people to run the race.
Yep.
We can help you figure that out. Superintelligence did a report where over 82% of their respondents, it was over 5,000 use cases, showed a positive ROI on their AI efforts. The remaining 17 and a bit percent, only I think it was between 5 and 6% showed a negative ROI, and the rest were just break even.
Interesting.
So the vast majority of people that have rolled out AI into their processes have seen benefits from it.
Benefits, yeah.
Now, we've also seen reports where the ROI has not been that great, and not as many people are showing a positive ROI. And that says something a bit about the audience for this particular report, is that it was people that were very interested in AI to begin with. And that's why I say the people that are the most curious are the ones that are going to take it the furthest, not necessarily the ones that are more technical. You don't need to know Python to know that Figma Make is going to be great for your designers.
That's right. Yeah. The other side of the question here on that survey, which I find interesting, is like how many of that 17% were just in the mastery process. They were really just learning to use the tools, really not at seeing the investment returns, because there is a curve. Not every AI tool is just like, if you're running a localized model on your own servers, there is a learning curve and you have to go through it to be able to see any ROI. And honestly, at first, it's somewhat of an investment. It takes capital, and you won't see the returns unless you start using the tools in deployment in the proper environment, right?
Now, I'm gonna just ask you. We see that some of the best models right now are accurate about 80% of the time. Do you think there's any coincidence in that correlation? Or is there correlation or coincidence, I guess I should ask?
I don't know that it's the corollary. Like, I'm not sure that there's honestly, I really don't know. I guess I'd be answering out of
your butt.
I really don't know.
And that's Monday's show.
Yeah, that's where all my answers come out flying.
Yeah. Now,
today is humility show.
Yeah. So we do see other big companies rolling out AI effectively, and one very big one is Walmart. And they've been talking more and more about using AI to improve their processes internally, identifying opportunities in profit, really, and analyzing the stock that they bring in and all of that. And so I've got a couple of quotes. One is from, I'm not going to say his name. He's the Walmart CTO. This is from May. Our approach to agentic AI at Walmart is surgical. For us, agents work best when deployed for highly specific tasks to produce outputs that can be stitched together to orchestrate and solve complex workflows.
Yeah. beautiful kind of articulation of what a very common approach would be in a larger enterprise, is finding the gaps and filling them with automation through agentic tools. That, like, amazing use case.
Yes, very specific tasks.
Yep.
Right. And so somebody asked me. Actually, they didn't ask me. I just inserted myself in the conversation. But there was a comment on LinkedIn about how AI isn't saving anybody's time. And they were like, give me examples of ways. And I was like, I'm
goodness.
happy to give you some examples of ways that I'm using it to save time on bookkeeping or a whole bunch of stuff. So I got another quote for you from the executive vice president. He's the global CTO and CDO. This is about more than better bots. It's about building a smarter Walmart, one that sets new standards for speed, precision, and service. So they're really, really taking it seriously. Obviously, massive company with very complicated processes. I don't know how many thousands of stores globally, how many thousands of trucks are coming in and out with different products, nonstop, warehouses, global distribution, shipping costs, packaging.
From a global
shelves.
logistics perspective, is there a big, I mean, maybe Amazon, but who knows? Like, it might very well be the most complicated logistics environment in the world. Who knows?
Yeah. We're you're looking at not just warehousing and trucks taking pallets and boxes to stores, but the detail goes all the way down to which segment of this 8-foot shelf and which shelf is the product on and what is the price.
Yes.
Every little detail is thoroughly analyzed.
Yes.
And so taking AI into those workflows and into the analysis process, they're saying it's helping them massively.
Yep.
The other one is a little bit more fun, which is Roblox. And they've been talking a lot over the last couple of weeks about how they're using AI tools directly in Roblox Studio to accelerate game creation workflows, reduce repetitive production work for creators. So they're trying to reduce time loss on repeatable non-creative tasks, as well as reduce the friction in moving outputs between different tools.
Yeah.
So two really good examples of very well-known businesses that are successfully doing it. And if they can do it, and if these 5,000 use cases from smaller companies are also working, then I don't think the question is, can AI actually help us to do better? It's how do we do it?
Yeah.
How do we actually implement this? Yes. So where do we start and how do we do it?
Yep.
We got two tools for you.
Yeah. I saw on LinkedIn the other day, there is an adoption, you mentioned it, there's an adoption kind of issue. Like, there's a gap between where we expected adoption to be and where it currently is. Certainly in the technology space, many companies are thinking, wow, this is going to go out like wildfire and everyone's going to be using it. And that has happened on the public side of LLMs. So like ChatGPT and Perplexity and these kind of like front-facing UIs with agentic back and forth conversations. So like that has taken the world by storm. But the adoption of AI inside of enterprise hasn't seen the same amount of like adoption from just teams wide and large enterprises.
Well, it can't be pushed on people either.
That's right.
Right. You have to work with your teams to know like what
why do it?
Yeah.
Like what are the benefits?
And they might not know. So here's another tip. If you're not sure how AI can help you, take your job description and paste it into ChatGPT and say, what can you help me with?
Yes, exactly. Like there are many different aspects of almost every current, at least knowledge worker job that you can benefit in a tremendous way from using AI.
Yeah.
Let me read you this thing I read on LinkedIn. I won't name the person who wrote it, but he's the director of a gaming studio, and from a well-known studio, well-respected studio. He says, something interesting and overdue is happening in the AI in-game discourse. Players are starting to defend studios who are using AI. When this person clarified that artists in the studio were exploring generative AI concepting in Divinity, a big game, not replacing artists, just letting the artists decide whether to use AI, they got the expected backlash. When Sandfall Interactive admitted to using AI for prototyping as a placeholder in Clair Obscur, another huge game, the pitchforks came out. Critics even retroactively downgraded the game after the news dropped. But then the fracture happened. Alongside the outrage, a loud new faction of fans stood up and said, "I loved the game. Stop bullying the devs."
Yeah.
This is a massive win for the industry, in this person's words. It shifts the debate from moral panic to quality. It rewards outcomes, craft, fun, emotion, instead of policing the process. Why the shift? And he gives two hypotheses, and I think they're good hypotheses. The silent majority woke up. When you attack beloved games like Baldur's Gate 3 or Clair Obscur, you force average players to choose between their enjoyment and your ideology. They choose enjoyment. Quality disproves slop. So players are being confronted with the reality that AI tools in the hands of masters don't produce garbage, because masters won't produce garbage. They produce Game of the Year winners. Baldur's Gate 3 and Clair Obscur are two of the most praised games in the decade. It's delusional to deny that these teams have very high quality artists. The era of AI equals bad is ending, and we are back to what matters. Is it good? That's what matters. So I thought that was very interesting. So I exist in this kind of weird dichotomy between someone who's an entrepreneur and someone who's a creative. I love and am in awe of highly creative people who craft things, people who make things. Many friends who are super talented at making music, making art. And at the same time, I love and am ambitious about and desire the full use of AI for the benefit of those who craft. Do you know why? It's because I know how much better I've become through the proper use of tooling. My creative endeavors have become more effective, speedier. My imagination has been able to be fully fleshed out because now I have tools that can turn my thoughts into reality much more quickly, much more effectively. So in the right hands, AI as a tool, it transforms a creative master into being just even more effective, just more deliberate about what their intentional vision is and what they see coming into the world. It's just the end user benefits.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the sentiment is changing. As soon as adoption of the silent majority of people who are like, no, you know what? This thing was made better for me because of the use of these tools, the proper use of these tools. I think that's changing, at least in games. I think that's true. I think it's maybe even happening in music, which is an even more, in my opinion, it's more closely tied to like a direct creative output, right? So yeah. Anyways,
that's great. I had some interesting conversations with some creative folks last week specifically with video producers because so somebody posted a video that they'd made. I actually sent it to you. You're like, wow, it was really cool. And there were people in the comments that were just hating on it. The immediate response is AI slop, AI garbage, whatever. Which if some of it, if you didn't know it was AI, you wouldn't even know. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. And so I pulled out for this. So one of them was a CGI animator. And so I pulled out a couple of quotes for him. One by a Japanese animator. I don't want to butcher his name, and I definitely will if I try. We would just put it here. I strongly feel that computer graphics tend to make movies shallow. That was in 2013. Werner Herzog?
Yeah.
How should I say this? Werner
Herzog, yeah.
Werner Herzog said, I personally think that CGI is for cowards. That was in 2016. So I gave those 2 quotes to the CGI animator.
Yeah.
To say, back when CGI was new, it sucked.
Yeah.
You look back at movies that use CGI, it was terrible. The practical effects were way better.
Right.
And so there was resistance even to the technology that he's an expert in now. There was resistance to it when it came out. People resisted digital projection. Christopher Nolan said, "I'm no fan of digital projection. It's a way of devaluing what we do as filmmakers." Quentin Tarantino, "Digital projection is the death of cinema." Digital cameras and digital projection was the death of cinema.
Yeah.
It seems to be doing okay.
Yeah.
And it's just so okay.
Okay, well, but here's an interesting just irony. So Werner Herzog?
Yeah.
He's also an actor. He shows up in one of the first episodes of The Mandalorian, which was shot entirely on a LED volume.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean?
Tons of hate on green screens.
Yeah.
All the way back to 1931, Charlie Chaplin says, "Talkies are spoiling the oldest art in the world, the art of pantomime." So if we go back through all of the filmmakers
wait for our pantomime
hated on new technology, we wouldn't have speaking.
Yeah.
In movies.
In movies, yeah.
And so like I've had this little list of these quotes handy now for people that are hating on AI use. Yeah. It's not perfect right now.
Sometimes,
just like the early CGI wasn't perfect, it's not perfect now. Just like the early microphones sucked.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't get it right, but we are on a trajectory where it is going to be amazing, and you have to. You don't have to embrace it. Actually, you can be a physical artist. You can keep doing your craft, and there will always be a place for it.
Yep.
But you don't need to hate or be afraid of AI in creative processes.
For sure. There are still, I was using this analogy the other day when I was talking to someone else about this. There are still bakeries with bakers in them. And yet industrial pastries make up a giant portion of the shelves at the grocery store. It doesn't stop bakers from baking and making incredible things, right? Just because it's all roboticized and automated and could be, we could all effectively survive on the pastries that come off of a manufactured thing. But we don't want to. We want to enjoy a properly made 85% fat croissant, even sometimes.
We have to stop filming these right before lunch. But that was really good.
So hungry.
Sorry to all the bakers who are hating the Gemini generated recipe. Thanks.
Do your thing, bakers.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us
this week on Wednesday's brain freeze teasers.
Oh, brain freezers?
Brain freezers.
We'll figure it out, guys.
Brain freezer sounds better than brain freeze.
I agree. Brain freezers. Brain teasers? Brain freezers.
Mind numbers.
Mind numbers. I liked you better when I knew you as a pantomime.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Everything's changed again. Bye. I'd like you more as a pantomime. That's crazy.
When you didn't
talk
speak so much.